You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life. You gotta have knowledge for life.
We can get started. The first person I'd like to really introduce, she's a really good friend of mine. And I admire her a whole lot for all the things that she does and continues to do. Her name is Miss Jacqueline Gaines. Let's have a big round of applause for that. Let me give you a little history about her. And it could be lengthy, but I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. Catherine Gaines, she's actually a magistrate for the Montgomery County Magistrate in the Domestic Relations Court. She's been there for over 12 years. And when she gets up here on stage, you would never tell that she's been there 12 years. Add a little more thing to it. She's involved in a lot of deciding different cases, all aspects of the law, and family law included, domestic violence. She handles civil protection orders, custody parenting, visitations, child support issues, spousal support, which is alimony, contempt, division of property, and divisional retirement accounts. Prior to joining the court, Jacqueline was in private practice for 6 years. And that wasn't a surprise to me, but that lends a lot of support for all the things that she's done as a magistrate judge. And she was in that practice for 6 years. She's also practicing business. For 6 years as a practicing business litigator and employment law. Jacqueline is two-time fellow. She is a 2023 Dayton Bar Foundation fellow. She's also a 2022 DePaul University Darnell Alumni fellow. She's a member of the Dayton Warriors Club and author of the Legal Quicksand 2 Club. I'm sorry. She's the author of the Legal Quicksand 2. So with that introduction, I'd like to bring forth Jacqueline Gaines. Let's give her a big round of applause.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Oasis Block Party! It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon in late September, and we are all out here to have a good time, right? Yes. Just because you are, learning about health things and wellness and mental health, that doesn't mean you can't have a good time. So let's have a good time. Right. Thank you so much, Tony, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Catherine and Sister Baby Solutions, for inviting me to speak today. I am so happy to be here. I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon. I don't know if you can pull me off this stage now that you asked me to be here. So once again, my name is Jacqueline Gaines, and I'm a magistrate. I'm a lawyer, and I work for the Domestic Relations Court here in Montgomery County. What does that mean? Domestic relations is where if your family ain't acting right, you come to domestic relations. That's where all the divorces happen, legal separations. That is all handled at the Domestic Relations Court. And so I have been a magistrate there for over 12 and a half years. And I hear all the different kind of cases that come through Domestic Relations Court. So I've got some stories to tell you about some families. And it doesn't matter where those families are, what side of town, black, white, all different types of situations. You'll see it in a family. So family law is actually one of the most important types of law because it affects all of us, right? We all come from a family, good, bad, or indifferent, we all come from a family. So it is very relatable, family law is. So we do things that affect child support, custody, visitation, being able to see those kids when the parents are living in two different households. We deal with that spousal support, which means it's just a fancy word for alimony. That's what spousal support is. But one of the least known things of what domestic relations court does are, we also hear domestic violence civil protection orders. And I'm so glad that Catherine invited me to speak today, because next month, a few days from now, October 1st, is the beginning of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence is something that's not talked about very often, but unfortunately, it is a widespread problem. And when a survivor is going through domestic violence, it affects all aspects of that person's life, right? It can trickle over into the job, it trickles over into other relationships, it affects children, it affects someone's mental stability, their ability to earn an income, etc. So with, you want me, okay, keep going. So with domestic violence, it also affects our community, the Black community, and it's something that is also not talked about enough in the LGBTQ plus community. So we need to raise awareness that domestic violence is not okay. It's not acceptable, and there is hope out there. So when you come to the domestic relations court, what we can do for you is grant you a domestic violence civil protection order. And with the civil protection order, what that does, it can last up to 5 years, and it removes the abuser from the home. It also says that that abuser has to stay at least 500 feet from the victim at all times, no matter where that victim is. That victim could be shopping at the grocery store, at the public library, at their job, etc. If that abuser is there at the same time and same place as the survivor, it did. Maybe try this one? Yeah. Testing. This one's not on. All right. I think we're back in business. Thank you. All right, so with those protection orders, the abuser has to stay away from the protected person for at least 500 feet at all times. So even if they're in a public place, and even if we call them the respondent, the alleged abuser, even if they were at that public place first, if the survivor walks in and it's not possible to stay 500 feet from each other, then the respondent has to go ahead and leave, because that protection order protects that person at all times. Another thing that protection order does is it can provide child support if there isn't a child support order in place already. It can also remove the abuser from the home. It can set up a visitation schedule for the children. It can also temporarily decide who has custody of the children. So it's a very important first step to help that survivor rebuild his or her lives. And protection orders can also be granted to children too, because sometimes children are the ones who are being abused. So how do you get a protection order? Well, you come on down to the domestic relations court, And that day, you fill out paperwork. We have computers right there at the court. You don't have to have an appointment. You just come on down. You fill out your petition. That's what the document is called. If you're not computer savvy or you don't know, what these questions are asking you or what they mean, we've got specialists there who can talk to you and walk you through it. And that same day, after you get your paperwork filled out, you get to meet with a magistrate in the courtroom. Somebody like me, I'm a magistrate. We hear the case right then and there. And then we decide whether you get an emergency protection order. So once you've proven your case, and you get an emergency order, you get that order and it stays in place until you have your next hearing. And so if a respondent is being removed from the home, then you'll have another hearing in about 10 days. If they're not being removed from the home, then your next hearing might be a little bit longer than 10 days. So it's very important to know how this process works, because all of the questions that are asked and what the powers of the protection order provide and what they don't provide. There are a lot of resources out there that I think are underutilized. Has anybody out there heard of Artemis Center? Yeah, Artemis Center. They're an important resource because the Artemis Center can have an advocate sit with you at the hearing. And to just have an advocate sitting with you, to be a support to you, to help you navigate through the complex legal system, it's a godsend. That advocate doesn't say anything in court, but you just know that there is at least one friendly face in that courtroom. That means all the difference in the world usually for that survivor. So the Artemis Center, they have a hotline too. They have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline that if someone is experiencing abuse, they can call that hotline. They can get information about how to protect themselves. And I just spoke to the executive director of Artemis Center, and I was telling her, you know what, I'm going to a block party on Saturday, and I want to tell them about Artemis Center, and I want to, what else do you think that they should know about Artemis Center? And the wonderful executive director, her name is Jane Kiefer, she said, make sure that you tell everybody that when you call the hotline, you don't just have to be a survivor, a victim of domestic violence. You can also be somebody who's a friend of somebody who's going through domestic violence. You can be a family member of someone who's going through domestic violence. Because that trauma of domestic violence, of intimate partner violence, it doesn't just touch the person who's going through it, but it's also, that trauma is also affecting those people who love them. And so the Artemis Center hotline also provides, counseling and support for people who are the friends and family of the victim. Artemis Center also can help you develop a safety plan, because the statistics show that when a victim is trying to leave their abuser, that's the most dangerous time for the victim. That's the most dangerous time. When you see those homicides, when you see those violent attacks, those are usually when the victim is trying to separate him or herself from that abuser. So there's that mentality of, I can't have her, no one will. Well, that's why that safety plan is so critically important. And Artemis Center can help you have that safety plan. Because at the end of the day, that protection order, it's a piece of paper. And we need to have systems in place to support that piece of paper and not just rely on that piece of paper. So when you get your protection order, it can last up to 5 years. And if there's still problems, if you're still being harassed, if you're still being abused after that 5-year period, you can always come back to court and get it renewed and get another 5 years tacked on to that as well. And so you should really tell other people about these protection orders too. They are something that's an important tool to use to protect. They don't want us to hear this information, do they? They don't. Somebody needs to hear it, so we're going to keep pressing through. Sound volume or not, we're going to keep pressing through. So those protection orders are just one piece of something that can help start the road to recovery, to start the road to survival. And you should also know that when you have legal representation, it's a lot easier to go through the process and prove your case. But unfortunately, legal representation is something that's very expensive. It's a lot of times it's cost prohibitive. You just can't afford it. But there are other resources out there too that you should be aware of. The Legal Aid Society of Western Ohio, they're known as LAWO, ABLE, Advocates for Basic Legal Equality. These are organizations that will help you and represent you in court free of charge. Did y'all hear that? Free of charge. Right. So there are lawyers, fully staffed law firm that do cases free of charge, civil cases. So we know that we got public defenders for those criminal cases, but people need help with those civil cases too. And so that's where ABLE and LAWO, that's where they step in. So I'm going to be providing a list to Catherine of all these different organizations that I'm telling you all about, because I want you all to remember them and to pass that information along to others. But there's some national organizations as well that we all need to be aware of. The National Domestic Violence Hotline too. They have an excellent website with information that can help you develop a plan for the future. They also have a hotline that you can call to. And then there is a national Black community domestic violence organization as well that provides a lot of culturally sensitive information too that are tailored to our particular needs, because it can be very hard to talk about this in our community, and we want to make sure that we have the language and the tools to talk about this successfully. And so I think that I've given you a lot of information. Hopefully I just, gave you a little taste so that you will want to find out more. But like I said, I will share this information with Catherine so that she can put it on her website and so that it will be available for the future use. Once again, my name is Jacqueline Gaines. I'm a magistrate in the Domestic Relations Court. And in 2024, a few months from now, I will be running to be a domestic relations judge. So we're going to change that title from magistrate to judge, and that can only happen with help from all of you. So thank you so much, and God bless.
In September of 2014, he also organized a voter verification day in Dayton featuring Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, who I went to school with. Second one. He also organized a voter verification day in Dayton featuring Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, in 2016. While leading this charge on the importance of local vote, he also spearheads other awareness and advocacy initiatives through Black Lives Matter Dayton. With a lifestyle full of challenges, Mr. Buford maintains that engaging you to vote is his passion. Empowering you is his goal. So let's welcome Mr. Carlos Buford to the stage. Let's get a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that, man.
All right, man.
Thank you. Ain't gonna be long. You can stay right
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, that's fine. All right, well, thank you for that. I'm not going to be up here long. Just want to let you know I am Carlos Buford of Black Lives Matter Dayton and also Urban Citizens for Social Justice. Just want to let you know what we're offering. I'm not going to be here long. I'm about to pick up and go. But at my table over here, right where the flag is, if you know someone who needs their driver's license back, please come to the table right here. And also, if you know anyone who has a felony, bring them to my table. I can also help them get their records expunged. In addition, if you know someone who needs to register to vote, bring them to my table. These are some of the things we do for the black community because we know that certain things stop us from being who we are. That's about empowering our people right where they are. So again, my name is Carlos Buford, and if you know someone who needs their records expunged, who needs their driver's license back, or any information regarding voting, please come to my table. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Your presence is always welcome as usual. And just keep doing what you're doing and keeping us informed. Thanks so much.
In your pocket or turn this off so it won't.
Do you know where a trash can is at?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, cool. Get thanks, brother.
Peace builder, social healer, freedom fighter, network weaver, student of cooperation, and lover of humanity. He's an associate
What's the overall context? Today is about what?
Today is about community awareness. Bring attention
Okay.
to this area.
Okay. Perfect.
To building bridges of trust, healing historical wounds, harassing the unique gifts and talents of every human. His co-founder and board chair of the Gem City Market, a community-driven effort to address food apartheid through a food co-op dedicated to increasing access to fresh fruits, vegetables.
Would you mind if I called you up at some point? All right.
Co-founder and co-head of Co-op Dayton, a co-op incubator that is guided by driving models towards building a just economy ecosystem.
Oh. Did we lose it?
Let me introduce Maha Selassie.
There you go.
Thank you.
Get thanks, Baba. Good seeing you. Good seeing you as always, Baba. I learned a lot from you. It's the opposite way around, right? What's going on, everybody? What up, though? Y'all good? Yeah, it's beautiful to be out here today. Because this is what community is all about, right? That we can let others determine our future and the state of our community, or we can self-determine our community and our future for ourselves, right? And so we look at all the people out here today that are passing out information, people that are just here, period, you know what I mean? Like, to me, this is what community looks like, right? When we're determining what it is that we're trying to be and do, and then leveraging our resources to make it happen, what I like to call collective hope. Oh. Hello? I think they're afraid of our message, so they're trying to shut it off. I'm thankful to be here today. I just want to say a couple words about self-determination, right? Like our ability to literally change our lived environment, you know? Like, and I'm gonna use the market as an example, and then talk about a couple other things, you know? We had 40,000 residents in West Dayton and no full-service grocery store, you know? And, you know, we kind of accepted that as being what it was, you know what I mean? We called it a food desert, you know what I mean? All of these things, right? But when the community started to say that no, like we deserve better, we deserve grocery stores like everybody else, right? We were able to start leveraging our gifts, talents, and resources. We were able to redefine the issue as being food apartheid, right? Which means that there's a human structural mechanism,
It's a power issue.
It's all good. All right. Which basically says that like it was man-made. You know what I mean? That like our lack of access to fresh fruits and vegetables was not because of some happenstance, but a direct result of public policy that said that black folk don't deserve resources. Black folk are dangerous, and because of that, we're going to shut off the flow of resources and investment inside of the black community, right? Which resulted in an intentional underdevelopment of the west side of Dayton, right? And so we call it food apartheid for one main reason, that if we can acknowledge that it was man-made, then we have the power to what? Someone answer me. Change it, reimagine it, right? And that's how we release hope, right? Because part of having hope in the community is realizing that we have the power to change the environment around us, right? The more that we know that our gifts and talents can actually make a difference in the community, the more hopeful we become. And the more hopeful we become, the more we act. Maybe. No, I'm playing. The more up. It's all good. So the more hopeful we are, the more we act. And the more we act, the more that we release the power of the community. Because we truly are the ones we've been waiting for. That's not just like some nice catchphrase, you know what I mean? But it means that like we truly have in this circle right now, we have gifts and talents to change our lived environment, right? And so it's like how we bring these gifts together, you know, to create something and to be something that we couldn't do and be by ourselves, right? That's the power of community, the power to change our environment, the power to self-determine, like Brother Gregory, right? Brother Gregory realized the lack of access to fresh fruits and vegetables, and he's building this farm, and he's building this community education center. You know what I mean? Like that's the power of self-determination, that we're not waiting for others, right? And if we look at it more, we realize that when we bring our gifts together, we literally create like social wind, meaning that we create a social force that can propel us towards the vision in the future that we want to have, right? That's the power of cooperation, that we're bringing our gifts and talents together, creating a social wind, and creating our own opportunity. We don't got to wait for others to give us... It's all good. It's gonna be that way. It's all good. But we don't have to wait for others to create opportunity. Opportunity is in our ability to recognize the human dignity and the gifts and talents that are amongst us, and how we can cooperate together toward whatever it is, that North Star, to whatever that future is that we're trying to do, right? You know, and part of that can be voting. You know what I mean? Like knowing that we have the power to elect our own candidates, that our voice matters. Like, I don't know if y'all been catching this, but right now there's a push to say that everybody doesn't deserve the right to vote, right? They're saying that, oh, if they don't have a certain education level, if they don't have this and that, then they don't deserve the right to vote, right? We've heard that before, right? And if we're talking about fascism, you know what I mean? Like, I think that is a huge part where we start saying that, like, oh, these people can vote, these people can't vote, right? And so it's an old philosophy, you know what I mean, back in the 60s and before. Damn. Anytime I get in a row.
We got you mocked up, so we gotta go.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. So back in the 60s, right, they had the poll tax, they had those tests where you had to like name the Constitution, all these things down south to inhibit our right to vote. So the fact that they're now creating this whole narrative and like pushing this whole thing that like actually everybody shouldn't vote, that lets us know the power of the vote. Because if it didn't have any power in it, why would it matter? Why would they want to waste their breath and create a whole like narrative and dominant story that would say that only certain people can vote if there wasn't some power in voting? You know what I mean? And so, you know, if it's local elections, right, which we have the most, I think, power to shape and control, you know, state, federal, you know what I mean? Like, Carlos has been on the front lines registering people to vote for ages. You know what I mean? He's the first person I think of when we think of that. And I actually help with that stuff too, but I always look at Carlos first. And Brother Dominic down here, you know? Black Panther probably does a lot too towards this, right? So yeah, let me look at my notes real quick. I'll cut my notes down. You know, I think one thing to also think about, well, a couple things, right? Well, I want to read this quote. I got two of them. The first one is by Asai Shakur, and then I got another one later from Angela Davis. But it says that we need to be weapons of mass construction. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's a dance. I'm catching the rhythm. So, weapons of mass construction. Weapons of mass love. It is not enough just to change the system. We first need to change ourselves, right? Because change is going to begin with us. You know, I used to like go around and try to get others to do things or organize the community. But now I'm realizing, how am I showing up in the space? I can control that. You know what I mean? Like, when I come to the room, do people want to leave? You know, do people have a lack of trust? You know, like how am I showing up as a neighbor? You know what I mean? As a friend, right? Am I someone that people don't have a hesitation to cooperate with, right? Those are things that we can control if we're going to be the thermostat and not the thermometer in our community, right? Because the thermostat, well, the thermometer just tells the temperature in the room, right? It's got, I got the rhythm. But it's all good, but it's gonna be this way. The thermostat controls the temperature in the room. We want it at 50, we want it at 60, we want it at 70, you know what I mean? And so we got Patty here that's here talking about food sovereignty, right? Like what are we doing to control our food system? Because the food system is a critical piece in a community's development. You know what I mean? That's another example of self-determination. Not waiting for others, right? We got to be the protagonists or the authors of our own story. We can't leave it to others to write our story talking about us, but our lived story too, right? We need to create it for ourselves and by ourselves, right? I wanted to invite Tara up for a second because we were working on an initiative of how we're going to acknowledge our human dignity. You know what I mean? Human dignity isn't a civil right. It's a human right. Meaning that if you are alive and you are human, you are already endowed with it, right? So what are we going to do to live in this thing amongst each other, you know what I mean? Walking in love, acknowledging dignity and worth to every human being, that we can create another world. Because another world truly is possible, right? Thank you.
I see about the mic. My brother here put me on the spot. I didn't know I was speaking today. However, my name is Tara Campbell, and I am with the initiative Dayton United for Human Rights. All of us were born with human rights. All of us deserve it.
Yeah, it takes about 10 seconds. Now I'll do a little dance mid-time. There it is.
All of us deserve human rights and we're born with human rights. And it is our
It's like it's a sword or something. Yeah.
duty to protect and promote those rights.
Yeah.
So right now we are in the process of developing a resolution to be put on the docket for the commission to approve. And we are really, really close to having Dayton be the first, I'm almost for sure, the first city in Ohio to be a human rights city.
Yeah.
This is a big initiative. We look for everyone to come out. We meet every month on Thursday, the third Thursday of every month, downtown Dayton Library from 6 to 8. We would love to hear your feedback. We'll welcome you into the space. Thank you.
All right. Good, thanks. You know, I love putting you on the spot. And so yeah, I think in closing, right, like, so this is like passing this initiative to help see like how we put these things into law and how we put this inside of the structure of Dayton, right? That the structure itself acknowledges human dignity. But we can't just leave it to others, right? Like as human beings, we can learn how to be more human to each other, right? Known as Ubuntu, or I am because you are. And my humanity is tied to your humanity. Up. Dancing, dancing, dancing. I need a beatbox. Someone going beatbox for me? We gonna spit some lyrics. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so like we have the power to treat each other with more human dignity. You know what I mean? Like we might have different religions, race, cultures, ethnicity. We got different identities, all of these things, right? But we can still treat everybody as a human being. You know what I mean? And like decide what that means to us. Right? We have the power to do that, and the city is creating a structure that's going to be cohesive for that as well, right? So, give thanks. Beautiful to see all these beautiful faces out here, and have a blessed weekend.
Brother Gibson was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, but has lived in Dayton, Ohio for 43 years. He's a graduate of Dunbar High School, worked in the Dayton and Trotwood school system for over 18 years as a bus driver, cafeteria worker, and a football coach. He's called to serve as a soul speaker to empower and motivate a movement through love, pain, and struggle for happiness, peace, and awareness. He's a powerful brother on the scene. He's a future powerful leader in the community. Without anything else from me, I'd like you guys to give a hand for my brother. We call him Macaroni Tony Gibson. Y'all give it up. Give it up for Tony. Come on, y'all.
He said, show a little brother a little love. Y'all, where is it at? Now I need it. I need it. Let me prepare myself. I needed my microphone here. Let me see. I ain't worried about no whatever you just said. I ain't worried about no difficulties. We ain't gonna let that hold us down.
Come on now. Celebrate new life when they come back around. The purpose is in the lessons we learning now. Sacrifice personal gain over everything, just to see the next generation better than ours. I wasn't perfect, the skin I was in that truly suffered. Temptation and patience, everything that the body nurtures. I felt the good, I felt the bad, and I felt the worry. But all in all, my productivity has stayed urgent. Face your fears, always knew that I would make it here. Where the energy is magnified and persevered. Consciousness is synchronized and crystal clear. Euphoria is glorified and made years. Reflecting on my life and what I've done. Paid dues, made rules, change out of love. Them same views made schools change curriculums. It didn't change me staring down the barrel of their gun. Should I feel resentful? I didn't see my full potential. Should I feel regret about the good that I was into? Everything is everything, this ain't coincidental. I woke up that morning with more heart to give you. As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. To my brother, to my kids, I'm in heaven. To my mother, to my sis, I'm in heaven. To my father, to my wife, I am serious. This is heaven. To my friends, make sure you count them blessings. To my fans.
Yo. There we go. How everybody doing out there today? Can I pour this any further or no? No. It don't seem like I can. So I'm gonna stay right here then before I pour the whole banner down. How everybody doing out there? Can I get some feedback? How everybody doing out there? Good, good. Thanks for the love. But check this out. My name is Tony Gibson, #Essential Love. And I just come out today to share with the people. I see some faces that was here last year. I remember that young lady over there speaking last time for the first time, and she's back. So you know what that means? She's concerned about her community, and she made sure that she came back this year to enlighten us some more. Appreciate you, love. Keep on coming. But like I say, my name is Tony Gibson, #Essential Love, and I just stopped by for just a few moments just to share some love with you all. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all feeling good? Can I get a hand? Somebody's feeling real good out there. I see one hand, I see two hands, I see about 4 hands. Hopefully I can get more of that here in a minute. But check this out. I see you, my brother. But check this out, y'all. I just come by. I'm in the mental health field. I don't really want to use mental health, but I am in it. I'm just here to uplift the vibrations of my people. I am very concerned about my people. Now, my lady up here said that she was sharing some information about the streets, et cetera, and et cetera. I want to go a little deeper than that. I want to talk about what we need to do within ourselves before we talk about what they can do for our streets, because you know what? We're part of that street coming together by going downtown and voting, et cetera, but that's a whole nother topic. That's not what I'm here for, because what I'm getting you prepared for can prepare you to helping us get in our streets together. But you know where it starts at, y'all? It starts with us. It starts with ourselves, okay? I'm gonna ask the question. I know y'all out there doing what y'all gotta do, what y'all doing. But how did y'all feel when y'all woke up this morning? Matter of fact, how do you feel right now? Okay, now I know where we living at and the times of the days we living at. I know it's fast and I know it's loud. But it's our duty to slow everything down. It is our duty to put some things on mute so we can kind of understand ourselves together a little better. My brother was up here just talking a little minute ago about the humanity of people, the roles that we play in that. We are all responsible for ourselves and helping community be its greatest. Self-check. What is your heart like? What is your heart like? Who have you told today that you love somebody? Have you told someone you love somebody? Have you hugged somebody today? Have you given somebody a compliment today? I just want to let y'all know, y'all, we never know what people are going through. We all have the control. Let me see, we got to create the spirit. But we are all in the same boat to uplift one another, y'all. You know, 3 years ago, I was not this jolly. I was not this happy. I was a mad, angry, sad young man. I was in depression and didn't even know it. So here it is 3 years later, y'all. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I know for a fact, y'all, I know for a fact, most of y'all out there ain't happy. Y'all faking the funk. But you know where it starts? You got to be honest with yourself on how you feel really on the inside. If you're satisfied where you are, which I know you're not, because we all want more than what we got today. We all want more than what we had yesterday. We all want more next year from today. So that's where it starts. Self-happiness. Self-happiness is where it starts. Once you can create self-happiness in yourself, then you can start telling somebody else, I thought there was a bee on my calf. Yeah. Then we can start telling somebody, I love you. Because if you can't do it, that means there's a little something within inside of you that's preventing you from giving that love that God has put in each and every one of us, y'all. It is our duty to uplift our community. It is our duty to lift up our children. Check this out. How many of your parents out there, how many of the parents out there tell your children today that you love them? You ain't got to raise your hand. Don't tell on yourself. But if you didn't do it, let's start there, y'all. Because we keep on talking about our youth, but what are we putting in our youth? Besides these cell phones, the music, this garbage on TV, it's a balance, y'all. Like I say, this world is noisy, man. When we listen to this music and all in this phone, It keeps us distorted from becoming our higher self. How do you become your higher self, Tony? Well, I'm going to tell you. You got to quiet things down. You got to put this phone down sometime. You got to cut that radio off sometime. You got to cut that TV off sometime. And you got to sit by yourself. You got to sit by yourself and ask yourself, what do I need? What don't I have? What am I missing? Why am I not happy? Because I'm telling you, y'all, when the first thing you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about something negative. Your mind is thinking about something that ain't the bill that needs to be paid or whatever it is. Let's put all of those things to the side, y'all. Let's put some love into ourselves. Let's tell ourselves every morning when we wake up, I love you.
Love you.
You need to tell yourself, I love you. And that's what Tony had to do. The day I went in the mirror and I looked at myself and I said, I love you. And that was the day my life changed, y'all. I know it's heavy out there, and I don't want to keep on talking about what's heavy, but I got to talk about what's real. I am 50 years old, and I am just now finding my happiness. I've lived 50 years angry, mad, confused, depressed, stressed, whatever else. And once I felt this joy, y'all, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm here to share that each and every one of y'all out here can have it. And once you got it for yourself, then you can give it to your children. Then once your children have it, then they can give it on, y'all. Hey, I don't want to put it this way. It's 168 hours in a week, y'all. How much of that time is you giving to yourself? How much of that time is you giving to your children? I don't want to do too much up here. I just want to let y'all know that I love y'all. You are in control of what you give your energy to. You are in control of what you give your time to. And you have energy, time, and attention. Just like now, you can choose to listen to what I'm saying, or you can not listen to it. So those are the three choices that we have, y'all. Just utilize them to the fullest because you are in control of your own happiness. Let's all be happy together, y'all. I love y'all. My name is Tony Gibson. If there's anything that I could ever do for y'all, if there's any other questions you want to ask me on how to get on the other side of that happiness, come on up and holler at me. I got some cards in my pocket. I'll give you a card, or we can chop it up right now. But I want to see my people happy. Point blank period. It's very doable. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm gone. It feels great. I'm done. That's it, brother.
Mama in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Mama, come over this way so you
Hang on for a minute. I got to put this pseudo mic in my pocket.
I know how you feel.
There we go. I'm in front of the camera. Uh-oh, and I heard the mic cut out.
It cuts off,
There it is. Thank you very much. It is so wonderful to be here at Oasis. This is a dream come true for Brother Muhammad. And for every body that's here on this land setting good intention for his dream, your energy will help create what it is that Brother Gregory sees is his calling for his community. He's not doing this to get rich. He's not doing this to become famous, but he's doing it to support his community. I am a migrant to Dayton. I came here in Dayton in 2012. I didn't want to come. It was not a plan. It was a mission. And I was told that when I got here, I would be working on food issues. I thought it meant my food issues because I'm not the same body I was 30 years ago, so I thought it was that I was going to have this transformation. And the transformation did occur, but it wasn't necessarily what I thought was coming. You know how we know something is coming and we want something to come, but we might not recognize it because it don't show up the way we thought it was going to show up? And so sometimes it takes a little minute for our ego and our soul to have a conversation and come to agreement. Once that occurred, I found myself at DeSoto Bass, using the skill set that my mother and her father had given me to grow food, to grow free food in DeSoto Bass as a community development project. Sister Rosalie Bradley saw me at DeSoto Bass and she said, we sure, nope, I don't hear it. You got a connection somewhere that's bad. There it is. She said, we sure could use you at Edgemont. And I thought, well, let me go on down there and see what they're doing. Now, when I first came to Dayton in 2012, I drove all over the east side, the west side, the northwest side, trying to figure out what neighborhood would fit me best. And I had driven past the Solar Garden and saw the sign that said the Solar Garden, but the grass and the upkeep had been such that the weeds were up to the windows in the greenhouse. And I said as I drove across the tracks, who owns this wonderful resource? I've always wanted to work in a greenhouse. That was in August of 2012. By August of 2014, I was being directed to things that were growing food. By 2019, I had been blown to Edgemont Solar Garden. By 2020, I was working with Central State Extension Service, and it has been my pleasure to pledge 2 incubator farming groups. The first one it's coming. The first one was a 2-year program in which Brother Gregory and several other people who are here on the grounds were in that program. That class fledged itself, organized, and became New Soul Farms, which is a collaborative effort here on Oasis Agricultural Learning Center. This year, we have a 2nd-year program, and there are people here who are in that group. So we're doing our best at Edgemont through agencies like Hall Hunger, Central State Extension, and Catholic Charities, citywide, those people who are investing in Edgemont so that we can invest in people. It is, though, not enough to grow food. We as a people have to reclaim our own health. Our great-grandparents knew how to grow food. They knew that food was medicine, and they lived long and they prospered. They wanted the same thing for us. But our lives have been short-circuited.
Wow, short-circuited. You want the speaker?
Our lives have been compromised by convenience. Oh, I ain't got time to cook like that. Yes, you do. All this tech in your hand that you use on a phone, there's some tech at the store you can use to cook when you're not at home. How many of y'all got at least one slow cooker in your house? I got 3. How many of you got at least one? That's not a rhetorical question. I'm asking you for real. There's 1 hand out there, 2 hands out there, 3, 4, 5. I'll count you twice, brother. Okay, there are about 100 people on this land, and 5 of us have an implement that allows us to cook and prepare well-seasoned, healthy food without having to drive through somewhere to get some additives and some preservatives and some fat. Did I say fat? Some fat we don't need.
Come on. You want me to switch over?
These brothers is working hard to get the gremlins out the system.
Big loud, man. You want this going in the end, right? This going in the end, right? When you end it? Yeah.
Maybe I'm holding this thing wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have allowed convenience to compromise our consciousness. And I know some people standing there going, well, look at your wide self preaching to the choir. You're right. That's why I'm preaching. Because we don't have to be this. This is 3 or 4 boxes of sugared cereal every week growing up. This is mashed potatoes with pot roast gravy with the fat ain't been drained off of. This is macaroni and cheese, macaroni and cheese, macaroni and cheese. All things in moderation. All things are good in moderation. And so when we were kids looking at the healthy My Choice plate, nobody said we could put 3 vegetables on the plate and a piece of protein, because that program was designed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to sell more grain, for us to eat more processed food. Then they gave us free TV and commercials that drove our psyche to go buy what was not healthy for us. Now, a little bread and a little mac and cheese every now and then is a good thing. But I remember my own grandfather's love with white bread. And I asked him one day, Grandpa, Pop, why you got to have bread at every meal? And I ain't just talking about bread. He wanted it toasted. So, you know, you got to respect the elders. I toasted his white bread. And it was Heiner's or Sunbeam or something that wasn't healthy. But for him, it was an indication of the kind of life he had arrived to, where his wife or no other female in particular was going to beat some biscuits for breakfast. He thought it was a wonderful indication of how economically stable he had become, that he could afford to eat ready-made white bread. I am not telling you a story, I am telling you the truth. And I know myself, when my children were young, and Frisch's used to have these dollar coupons at Valentine's and Christmas, and because I was so busy running from this job to that job to feed them children by myself, I bought 10 every season, knowing that if I was running home late, I'd just tear off a coupon because I kept them in the glove box. And then we're going to go sit down, as if sitting down in Frisch's is healthier than driving through. I didn't know, but as I watched my children develop prematurely, I came to understand that I couldn't feed them based on what was on sale at the restaurant. So I found myself on food stamps, and I found people rolling their eyeballs at me because in my cart was fresh raw produce. If we eating meat, we're going to eat the best they got that we can afford. There wasn't no packaged Swanson, no Marie Callender, no Cormore, or whatever that processed food is that you shove in the oven and feed to your children. Then we want to know why our girls are developing so early. It's because of the additives, preservatives, and hormones in the processed food. We can afford to eat better. All we have to do is decide that we want a different relationship with the planet. We want to see ourselves as an integral part of creation. And the longer we can survive, the more of our children we can educate, and perhaps we can retrieve that aspect of our culture that sees food as medicine. I invite you to come to Edgemont Solar Garden. We will be creating our own incubator farmer program. We don't know what our relationship will continue to be with Central, but we sure are grateful for the 3-year investment they have made. If you can grow spices, herbs on your windowsill, your house will have more oxygen. Your blood pressure will come down if you use basil. If you come to Edgemont and tell us the classes that you want, we will make sure that we provide them for you. We are currently in collaboration with several other organizations, and we'll be inviting teen groups to come to a 6-week series of workshops because our children don't have access to home economics or bachelor living. And we are fledging them into adulthood at 18, not prepared to be responsible for their own health. We're going to fix that, and we're going to need your help to do so. Thank you all very much. Market Garden at Edgemont every Wednesday night from 4 to 7. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Peace and blessings. How's everyone doing today? Yes, yes, yes. It's so beautiful to be out here to enjoy the family community as we all should do this every day, all the time. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to get up here and speak a little bit. So my name is Angelica X. I am the founder of Healing with Angelica. I have a podcast called Healing with Angelica as well, where we talk about all things healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Healing is very, very important to us, but healing is very broad. So when we think about healing, we have to understand what is healing. Everyone wants to heal if it's mentally, physically, or spiritually, but what is the first thing you need to do when it comes to healing? Healing starts in the mind. So in order for us to work out anything else that's going on within us, we have to start with the mind, right? A lot of us, especially the young folks, I'm only 28 years old, I have a 2-year-old son, and trust and believe me, as a single mom, it's stressful, it's hard, and it's a whole lot of. So, but I really want to tend to people of my age, people that's younger, because we are being targeted the most when it comes to our mental, and a lot of us don't have a safe space to come out to. A lot of us don't have a safe space to come to talk about the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis when it comes to our mental. In order for us to be able to manifest anything on a physical level, it all starts in the mind. It's whatever we think about, what we're doing every day, what is our daily habits. And sometimes we get ourselves in this competitive cycle to where we are constantly doing something and not even noticing it. And it ends up being our breaking point, right? So, again, I am grateful to have the opportunity to stand up here to say something real quick. I am offering consultation services to those that are in need of healing mentally, physically, spiritually. I tackle the mind first, because if I can't tackle your mind, I can't tackle you in the physical realm when it comes to your physical health as well. Your physical health as well. So if you're suffering from anxiety, you're suffering from depression, if you're suffering from unhealed traumas that you done been through when you was a child, or even as an adult that you don't want to address, if you have mental health problems in general, unhealthy eating habits, if you lack confidence, have low energy, or you are having an identity crisis, and I say that with me saying that a lot of us don't know who we are. We come in this world and we're just here, and we are just going with the rat race in the cycle of life and not really fulfilling our purpose, and we die within what we wasn't able to manifest in this world. So my job is to make sure that I am here to assist you in any way, shape, and form to help you heal, and so you can be that person that God has intended you to be, because we don't want to waste our time here in this world not knowing that we did not live in our full purpose. So again, my name is Angelica X. I have a service called Healing with Angelica. I offer consultation services. I'll probably pass out some of the flyers before I leave. And also I have a podcast, Healing with Angelica, talk about all things healing. We talk about everything. Everything. And we keep it real. We don't want to hide nothing. We gotta be real, because we've been lied to forever. Like, you know, we're still dealing with, you know, post-traumatic slave disorder. So it's a lot of things that we have to acknowledge and get through, and I'm here to help. So grateful to be here. Thank you guys so much, and yes, peace and blessings. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Introducing Linnea. She's the Chief District Sales Manager of American Classic Agency, licensed in states of Ohio, Texas, Michigan, Illinois, and Alabama. Linnea's mission is to educate Middle America on the importance of leveraging cash value life insurance. Ooh, come on, son. I'm speaking up. Okay, insurance is to be used as collateral to borrow money in case of emergency. Invest in real estate, stocks, line of credit to start a business, and to help pay off debt within 9 years or less. Okay. I lost it again. Still there? Well, let me keep going. Linnea became licensed in 2012, selling property and casualty insurance, and later on in 2015, she received her life and health license. Linnea believes that it's important to create the proper financial foundation and to create billions of dollars of transferable wealth in the African American community. One of the important things that she's going to talk about, and really at the end of the day, she's going to help you understand what it means to be able to create wealth, generational wealth in your family. So with that, I'm going to have Renee Perkins come and give you her talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Are y'all able to hear me? Okay, my name is Linnea Perkins, and again, I am the owner of LRP Financial Services, as well as the Chief Marketing Director of American Classic Agency. And our mission with American Classic Agency is to put Hello? I think it went out again. Are you able to hear me? Hello? We having okay, y'all able to hear me now? We were having a little technical difficulty. But our mission is to put $1.5 billion of transferable wealth into our community. As I sit here and look at you guys today, we need to really focus on passing on generational wealth. I was just having a conversation over at one of the booths, and we were talking about closing the racial wealth gap. And what a lot of people don't know is that to every single dollar that a white person makes, we're making less than 60 cents on that dollar. That's with income alone. So nevertheless, we have to focus on our taxation, as well as where we are saving our money. And a lot of people don't understand the way that we are able to transfer that wealth, as well as eliminate debt, is really focusing on cash value life insurance. This is a very underserved product and service that we don't use in our community. We feel like life insurance is just death benefit focused, but a lot of people do not realize that life insurance is actually here while you're living. You should be able to utilize your life insurance policy while you are living. And the things that you can utilize this plan for, we having technical difficulties. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But we gonna get it together. Hello. Let's see. Okay. But anyway, I don't know if you guys are able to hear me, and I'm gonna speak as loud as I possibly can. But really utilizing cash value life insurance, we are able to not only create wealth that way and utilize it for investment strategies, but we have to find a way to where we park our money. We make money, we know how to spend money, but do we know how to save our dollars to where our dollars is making dollars for us? Now, with the living benefits, with our cash value life insurance policies, and with all of our policies, okay, here? Okay, give me just a second. I'm gonna stop until we get it right.
Talk about money. They ready to hear that.
Then we're ready to hear about money. Hello. Testing. Well, we gonna wait.
How you going, bro?
Definitely need to know this.
I didn't know. I can hear him now. I didn't know that.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Hello. We gonna wait.
Maybe speaker that came.
No, I didn't have any. Oh my God.
We get it. Hello. 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 Oh, it's just not working. Hello. Hello. Okay, y'all able to hear me now? Thank you. But to go back to what I was speaking on, as we look around, we see a lot of families. You have from all different ages and range. From you have your babies out here playing, you have your seniors, relaxing over there in the tent. And one thing that, like I said, we do not focus on when it comes to, we were not educated on, let me say that, in our community is really financial literacy. How can we get our financial foundation in order? How are we able to start our own plan, just depending on the variation of your age? You can start as young as 14 days out the womb. You can actually set up a plan for your children and grandchildren that can make them millionaires by the time they retire in a tax-free vehicle. Now, when we talk about taxes, we know that we have to pay our taxes, and understanding there are 3 different vehicles, or what we call garages, that you can park your money into. And the 3 is a tax now vehicle or garage, and your tax now garage is considered, I done went out again. He's not getting enough power. It's still, okay, I'm back on. But you have a tax now vehicle. And learning a tax now vehicle, that is considered your income, because you are taxed immediately once you receive your wages. Also, you have your savings account, a money market account, as well as a CD. So if you have your money in any of those vehicles, just know that every single year you're going to have to pay taxes on any gains that you earn, just as well as your income. Now, there's another vehicle which is called the tax later vehicle, and this is for all my employees as well as people who have a retirement plan set up outside of a pension. Now, this will be your 401k, your 403b, as well as your TSP plans. These are what you call tax later vehicles. And keep on going out. Hello, hello, hello. They don't want me to get this information out. Okay. Let's see if this works. But in a tax later vehicle, like I said, these are what you consider your retirement vehicles that you have through your employer, which are your 401ks, your 403bs, and your TSP. The benefit with these plans is that you do not pay taxes up front, but you have to pay taxes on the latter on your retirement. And there's certain state and government stipulations to these plans. One is that if you touch that money before you're 59 and a half, the government's gonna penalize you 10% for touching that money, but also you have to pay taxes on that dollar. And if you do not take that money out before you're 70 and a half, it's called a required minimum distribution. The government will penalize you 50% of your retirement income at that point in time if you do not take it out before you're 79 and a half. And you're gonna have to pay taxes on that dollar. Also, with these plans, you have a minimum of how much you can put into the plan, as well as you have control on when you take it out, and it is taxable. So let's say that you put in, you've been saving for the past 30 years and you save over $100,000. Now you know that, the speaker done went out again. Yeah, we're down again.
He's not getting enough currency.
Yeah.
And so he's getting the generator now.
Okay. Well, we're going in and out, so I'm gonna just keep on going. But looking at the tax later plan, you have certain stipulations, and your money is volatile due to the market fluctuation. So you can lose out on your retirement. A lot of people have dealt with the loss of retirement due to 2008, just as well as COVID. So we have to find ways to where we can protect our money, but also be able to transfer it without the government having access to it. And that's with cash value life insurance policies. You're able to set up a plan. Your health is your wealth. The healthier that you are, the more coverage you can get. And you can actually set up a plan with a child less than 14 days out the womb. As long as they have a birth certificate, you can set up a plan for them. And we have children's whole life policies that last them until they're 90 years old. We also have plans for people who are 85. And we actually, with our company, have set up a pre-needs plan for the people who do not want to leave a legacy, but you need your funeral expenses paid for. We have partnered with all of our with all the funeral homes to offer pre-need services, so now you can pay for your funeral expenses and not put that burden on your family. But if you are looking on ways on how to pay off debt within 9 years or less, and that's including a 30-year mortgage. Hello? You said it's killing the power? Hello?
I think you need gas. I'll go get some.
Hello, okay. But like I said, if you are looking for ways to pay off your debt, that's credit card debt, student loan debt, as well as a mortgage, your car note within 9 years or less, we can show you ways on how to do that, as well as reduce the interest that you are paying out on that debt. If you're looking for a college planning structure for your child outside of a 529 plan, we are able to help you out as well. Also, we are here to create legacies. Let's transfer over, our mission is to transfer over that $1.5 billion into our community. This is the only way that you can transfer money without your children having to pay estate taxes, or they actually receive that money tax-free. Catherine, come here real quick. And I'm gonna utilize Catherine because this is not only is she my business partner, she is one of my clients. And with Catherine, we actually structured a system for her to not only cover her in case she happens to pass away, and now she's leaving a legacy to her children, but also if she becomes ill, terminally ill, chronically ill, critically ill, or critically injured, now she's able to access up to 80%.
80%!
80%. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, come on, Ivy, because this is important for her to hear this. I can access 80% of my money, which is good.
Hello. Okay. So yeah, she's able to access up to 80% of her death benefit while she's living tax-free to help pay for expenses. So if the doctor tells Catherine, say, hey, Catherine, you got 12 to 24 months to live, now she can take up a lump sum of 80% of her money. So we're not looking at, $10,000, $15,000. We're looking at $100,000 to $200,000 that she has access to tax-free. Also, if she becomes chronically ill and she's not able to work, now she has a monthly benefit to where she doesn't have to actually depend on her Social Security or any type of disability, because her plan would give her. Hello? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Hello? We still waiting. Hello? Okay, so now she has access to monthly benefits that's tax-free. Your short-term disability as well as your long-term disability is not going to give you those tax-free benefits. You still have to pay taxes on the money that you use from those plans. Also, if she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, she has access to up to 60% of her benefits. Also, we are accumulating cash in her plan, so not only is she growing her money with market gains, but she also have market protection, so she would never lose a dime in that plan. And she can borrow at any time and pay herself back and earn interest. So we do structures like, we actually set up plans and structures for families to see where your needs are. We are here to be solution based. So if there is a problem, a financial need, as well as an assessment that you want to sit down and talk to me about, you are more than welcome. You can actually check out my webpage. It is lrpfinancialservices.com, or you can get with me. I can give you one of my business cards, or I can sit down and get some information from you and sit down and do a one-on-one consultation. Also, with American Classic Agency, we are looking for individuals who are looking to for part-time as well as full-time income or spare time income. If you are looking to make a change, you want additional income into your household, you just really want to learn the ins and outs of financial literacy as well as get your financial foundation in order, we are here. I have a team of agents in the Dayton and Cincinnati area. We are growing the American Classic Agency name in the Ohio area. The income potential is unlimited. It is on you, on how you want to grow, but it's our mission. Hello? Step on that wire again, see if that helps. Hello? Hello, hello, hello?
Not getting enough. Here we go.
What you will listen. I'm gonna make this quick because I'm about to get out. They about to let me out. So they done told me to shut up. This microphone done told me to shut up too many times. But we do offer opportunities. So if you are looking, there's no cost to start. We do make sure that you, if you're not licensed, we do help you get your license. It's about $150 investment, but the investment can make you a 7-figure income with no problem. And this is really helping the community as well as helping your families out with things that we need. We know that in life, the only thing that is guaranteed in life is death. So how do we protect it? Do we leave our debt to our families, or do we take care of that while we are living? Again, it was a pleasure to talk to you guys. My name is Linnea Perkins. If you have any questions or concerns, I'll be here for a while. So you can just sit down and talk to me and we can go over some things. It was a pleasure talking to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Linnea.
You want the mic?
Yeah. Let's talk to one.
It did. It cuts off.
You have a card.
You got
Thank you, Miss Maddie.
As Ms. Maddie has said, deadline is October the 6th for voter registration. Please, everyone, if you have not registered to vote,
October 10th.
I apologize, I was just corrected, October the 10th. If you have not registered to vote, please do so. As she just said, if you're a felon, if you're waiting on trial, blase, but I have someone else that is going to come up here and talk about voting registration because this is a very important issue. I'm going to bring to the stage Mr. Tony Carrington, Senior.
Wow, she really adds another gray hair to my head. I'm proud to be a senior. Can you hear me?
That's right.
Raise your hand if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Again, this is the time when I really felt like I needed to be here representing males. Because males, in my opinion, should never, and I'm talking about women's reproductive rights on issue 1, where we're going to vote yes this time around. So I know it'll be maybe a little confusing for some of us. Now they told us to vote no back in August. Now we're voting yes here for November. So spread the word, we're going to vote yes. And here's the reasons why. The first thing is we want to do by voting yes is we want to get this put and overwhelmingly supported is we want this to be in the Constitution. Voting no back in August was to get to this point to where we can actually put it on the ballot to be put in the Constitution. So it was this one way of working diligently to exercise our right to codify and actually put this ballot on the ballot for women's protections of their own reproductive rights. Reproductive rights is important, and you should have that privilege. You should have that opportunity. You should never be encumbered by the fact that if there's something in your body that you need to take care of, you don't have to call a politician to make it happen. And that's what the politicians are trying to do, is take control of people's rights. And those are the things that we've fought very hard for. And they've overturned Roe v. Wade, and what do we think is next? They're coming after reproductive rights of women. And also the next thing could be our voting rights could be in jeopardy. So many things could be on the horizon for these people who are pushing these issues. And so what we're doing, when we go to the polls and when we vote in numbers like we did in August in the state of Ohio, we will win. And once we win, we can put it in the Constitution, and that's where it's going to stay. So here, let me give you some of the highlights of what I've secured, and I'm sure Maddie covered quite a few of them. But I just want to read these things to you when it comes to women's reproductive rights and their freedoms to make it happen. We need to vote yes. We need to keep government out of our family's personal business. Ohioans agree that abortion is a personal, private decision that should be up to women and their families, not the government. Ohioans are voting yes because, 1, it ensures people can make decisions that are best for them and their families when it comes to contraception and abortion. 2, voting yes protects patients and families from extreme abortion bans. If this amendment fails, abortion could be banned even in cases of rape, incest, or when women's life is at risk. They're trying to criminalize all this. Let me repeat that. Voting yes protects patients and families from extreme abortion bans. If this amendment fails, abortion could be banned even in cases of rape, incest, and when women's life is at risk. So this is what politicians are doing. This is what some of the clergy who don't support abortions are doing. Number three, people across the state, including Republicans, Democrats, independents, and more than 5,000 doctors and nurses and faith leaders back the amendment. Ohioans know that no matter how you feel about abortion personally, government should not have the power to make these personal medical decisions for people you love. Voting yes prevents government from jailing patients who seek abortions or miscarriage care and doctors who provide that care. That brings up another subject. We've been losing doctors, we've been losing medical students as a result of this proposal. All this because they don't want to be criminalized in doing their jobs. Their job is to provide health care. And when you put restrictions on what they can and cannot do as a medical professional, that you spent all these years going to college to be an individual who specifies in medical health, and you got an elected politician with a high school degree is going to tell you what you can and cannot do, it's absolutely ridiculous. But they put it out in front of us, and they got some people who believe that they should be in control of this. This fall, let's just vote yes to keep the government out of our family personal decisions. Ohioans deserve the freedom to make personal medical decisions about pregnancy and abortion free from government interference. Again, I repeat, vote yes for reproductive freedom. As my wife says, if you don't care about abortion, don't have one. But don't put your values and everything on me because you don't understand my situation. So I should have that right as a woman who wants to protect her reproduction rights. And as many people have heard in many, many rallies, keep your hands off my vagina. Thank you very much.
Right, excellent, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
It's like Oasis here. You can come and get growing knowledge and support. We are a city-based, community-based site that we can help. Testing. So we can help you with your growing needs. We don't care if you're a novice grower or a green thumb person. Come over there and we will support you. We will help you work with any type of pest you may have, any type of plant knowledge you may need. Some of the experimental things we're doing over there now is to help sustain businesses through urban agriculture. And I'm proud to say this year we're experimenting with popcorn. We know where popcorn took Orville Redenbacher, so we have a field of popcorn that we're experimenting with this year, and we'll expand that growth, but we're using it as an educational tool for our youth, as well as entrepreneurship and how to bag it, sell it, and make money from these type of crops. So we want you to come over and just view Edgemont. You don't have to come over there and work. We would love your work, but we want you to work and get yourselves together on growing your own healthy food, but you always got a support group that's going to help you with your farming, with your urban growing. And believe me, it will benefit you and it benefit your health, and that's what it's all about. And I want to thank Greg once again and Oasis for having. It didn't come back. There we go. So don't worry about the little hiccups. But once again, we're at 911 Miami Chapel Road, right there before you get to Five Rivers Health Center. Just come by, stop in, look if you want to. You can buy some things, vegetables and things of that nature, but just come by and know where your community health places are, because we are a health organization catering to our community. So we don't have any excuse for eating a lot of McDonald's and things that aren't. Here we go. So just come by and see us, 911 Miami Chapel Road, Greater Edgemont Community Coalition, and Solar Garden. All right. My name is Steve Ross once again, and Greater Edgemont Community Coalition and Solar Garden. Look forward to seeing you there. You can come get this microphone.
Hello. Okay, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? I know I got a big mouth, but that's okay. All right? We get ready to bring the band up here, but I know we've had a lot of speakers up here today. I hope that everybody got information. So a brief second, because I need you to understand who Sister Baby Community Solutions is. Okay? We're an organization that got founded 3 years ago. This is our second annual block party, and we wanted to bring awareness to this underserved community and how important it is to bring community together and make everyone aware of what's going on in and around each of our black communities as a whole. Okay, so when one community suffers, trust and believe that we're suffering right along with that community. Okay, because there's one thing we all got in common, or let me look around. Most of us got in common is we all look similar, right? We're all indigenous people. And so if we understand who we are, then we got to understand that we must come together, work together in each and every one of our communities. We got started because I got tired of looking at the trash. And so I rode around and I told my friends, I said, hey, I want to start an organization. I didn't know it was a lot of work, but it is. But it's okay, because when I got into the field, then I realized that there were other organizations that were cleaning up out here too, right? So then here's the kicker. Then we started understanding that it is not just the trash. We're dealing with mental, physical, emotional, and financial health, which is the root cause of the trash. The trash is just the surface, right? But we got to understand, in essence, if we deal with these other issues, then we would probably have a cleaner community, right? Because then we can all take pride and honor and dignity into a community that we live in, right? Okay, so, but here's where I come in. And I want y'all to understand me, because I'm a pretty blunt person. Don't take it personal, as I would say. No matter what we are going through, you still have control over how you live. You have control over picking up the trash out of your yard. You got control of calling the city to say, hey, somebody's dumping behind my house. Okay? Just because we are dealing with other issues doesn't mean that we are a bunch of beggar-bombs, as our parents used to say. Okay? We should love ourselves enough to have pride in how we live. No one is going to come across the bridge and play captain, and y'all know the rest. Okay? So, at the end of the day, I want each and every one of you to make a vow today, this day, that you will keep your yards clean, that if you want to adopt a block, go ahead, adopt a block. You got seniors that can't get out of their houses, that got trash thrown in front of their houses, that they can't get out there and pick it up. Pick it up, people. It's okay. I assure you. And here is the deal. If y'all start calling and getting these houses tore down, and y'all start cleaning up your community, oh, wait a minute. It actually might bring your value to your home. Up, finances. Did I just hit someplace? Everybody understand pockets, right? I know I do, right? Let my neighbors start tearing up the damn yard. Oh, I'm calling, and me and they gonna get together because you bringing down my property value, right? It impacts me. So everything around each and every one of us impacts us. Also, when we have messed up communities, guess what else we're doing? We're not just inviting the rodents into our homes and the roaches and the bugs that comes with that, right? We're bringing in the dope dealers that said these people don't care about what's going on in their community. So if we don't care about what's going on in our community, they can put a dope house over across the street from where you live.
911.
Now, here's the deal. If y'all want dope dealers in y'all community, keep doing the same thing. Y'all want bugs and rodents in y'all houses, keep doing the same thing, right? But if you want better, do better. If you want better, do better, okay? So, once again, am I my brother's keeper?
Yes.
Yes, I am. And I care about what's going on in each and every one of our communities. I live in Trotwood, also a black community, right? I'm over here in the West Dayton, black community. Dayton View, black community. Westwood, black community. Edgemont, black community. Come on, y'all. Y'all better know where y'all black communities are. Don't make me tell y'all second time. Y'all better understand. We all over the city of Dayton. Hold up, y'all. We even on the east side.
Come on now.
Y'all better understand.
Taking over.
Okay? So take honor, dignity, and pride in where you live. It is your responsibility. You must hold accountability. And to say nothing and to do nothing is to be complicit. And if you're going to be complicit, I don't want you in my neighborhood.
No, we don't.
Thank you. That's what Sister Baby Community is all about. All right? So we are getting ready to let the band play. Because I actually paid them, and I'm still black. So we want to get entertainment. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, I had to clean up where I messed up, start my life over again. Come on, y'all. Clean up where I messed up. Ooh-wee, y'all. My life over again. Sad again. Where I messed up. Ooh-wee. Start my life over again. Ooh, yeah. Where I messed up. Uh-huh. Start my life over again. Let me tell them something, y'all. I made up my mind, I ain't lying no more. Cause a liar can't make it through the door. Clean up where I messed up. Ooh-wee, y'all. Start my life over again. Sad, y'all. Clean up where I messed up. Yeah. Start my life over again. Say it again, y'all. Clean up where I messed up. Where I messed up. Start my life over again. Said y'all. Clean up where I messed up. Yeah. Start my life over again. Let me tell them something. I made up my mind, I ain't cheating no more. Cause a liar and a cheater can't make it through the door. Clean up where I messed up.
Yeah, yeah. Take it home, y'all. Start my life over again. Clean up. Thank you, Lord. Hold on, y'all. I didn't get a chance to tune. I've been rushing doing everything else. There we go. There go the D, y'all. We're going to do the G now. This is a G string, y'all. All right. Help me, Jesus. That's a B. That's an E, y'all. That's an E string. All right. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Yeah. I want to thank you, Jesus. Have you ever been on the banks of Jordan and didn't know just what to do? You have no one to tell, no one to tell the troubles to. Just remember he's near, listening with a powerful ear. Yeah, be like a what? Shelter. Hey, what time? Time of the storm. He'll see you through. That's what he'll do. What he'll do. Shelter. Hey, what time? Time of the storm. He'll see you through. He'll see you through. That's what he'll do. That's what he'll do. Have you ever been on your sick bed, looking at the way the doctor shook his head? Have no one to tell, no one to tell the troubles to. Just remember he's near, listening with a powerful ear. Yeah, be like a word. Hey, what time? He'll see you through. That's what he'll do. Shelter. Hey, what time? He'll see you through. That's what he'll do. Break it down, y'all. All right. You know what? You know, let me stop playing for a minute. I remember when I used to run the streets. Yeah. But I just thank God that I didn't catch a bullet. I didn't catch a knife. I didn't catch AIDS. I didn't catch this. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch this. I didn't catch that. I didn't get that. I didn't have that. I didn't that. They didn't send me there. You know, I just want to thank God for having my back when I didn't have my own. When my thinking was so bad, so raggedy. I mean, I was so down. I had to keep my head up, yeah. I can remember those days like it was yesterday. I will never forget where I come from. Stand on up, raise your hand if you love the Lord, yeah. But it felt so good, felt so good. Felt so good, felt so good, yeah. I'm gonna tell you what it felt like. Cooling water, cooling water, cooling water, cooling water. It felt good, y'all. Cooling water, cooling water, cooling water, cooling water. It felt good, y'all. Cooling water. Yes, it did, y'all. Cooling water. It felt good. Cooling water. Yeah, yeah. Cooling water. It felt good. Cooling water. Cooling down in my soul, my soul, my soul, my soul, y'all. Yes, it did. I can feel it raining down on me. It was something like melodies from heaven. Rain down on me, rain down on me. Melody, melody from heaven. Rain down on me, rain down on me. Melody, melody from heaven. Heaven, 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 heaven. Rain down on me. Say it again. Melody from heaven. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rain down on me. Let's take it home, y'all. Melody from heaven, rain down on me, rain down on me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. You know, you ever been to that place? Hold on. People don't worry about your pain and your fear. Jesus is coming back and he won't leave you here. I guess you've been needing something to help you be strong. This ain't no time to quit, it's time to hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on, 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 hold on. When your heart is aching a little too much, and you will work all day, but it just ain't enough. And your body's begging for a little peace. Then just hold on, there's more than you need. gotta hold on. Hold on, hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on, hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on, hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. You never leave your side, just hold on. Love the reason why we hold on. There's no place and time to be strong. We gotta hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on. Yes, we do. So God will change the hand. Hold on. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, hold on. We gotta hold on. Hold on. To God some changing hand. Hold on. Yes, we do. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Take it home, y'all. Hold on, hold on. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Glory to God. All praises to the high and mighty. Yes. Yes. I should have just taped that too, something. I ain't got no memory. All right. We just want to let y'all know. You said name the band? Name of our band, God's True Colors. Oh, I'm going to do that first. I just want to let you know the name of the band is God's True Colors. Okay? And I just want to let you know that we're glad to have Her Majesty with us. And we got also Queen C. And the guy back here with the heartbeat on the foot paddle. That's my brother Philip. Brother in love and God. Back here on percussions, we have Mr. Dwayne. And Terry Lewis of gospel. We have Mr. Willie, I'm going to say his last name, Kennedy. Right. And my name is Ivan Perdue. All right, just remember true colors, God's true colors. God's true colors, God's true colors. Because he see those true colors. You can't have them here. I'm going to take you back a little bit. I'm going to do it's a 1975 quartet gospel song.
That's all right. That's when music was music.
That my daddy wrote. I think Miss Ednette right there, her daddy was singing with the Daytonians at the time too. He's an original member. That's right. The Daytonians gospel group, yeah. So I'm going to do a number today, God, but I'm going to put a little twist on it. We're going to put some God True Color on it. Sometimes I'm gaining. Sometimes I'm losing. Sometimes I'm rising. Sometimes I'm falling. you cannot fool. You take a mile of Jesus, He will solve them all. Let Jesus work it out. Let Him work it out. Let Jesus work it out. Let Him work it out. Sometimes I'm up. Sometimes I'm down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Never sometimes never into the ground. But if you got a high that you cannot fool, you take a mile of Jesus, He will solve them all. Let Jesus work it out. Let Him work it out. Let Jesus work it out. Let Him work it out. Why? Because He knows just what. Because He knows just what. Late in the midnight hour, down on my knees, yeah, yeah. Because He knows just what to do. Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. God will take care. Come on, y'all. God will take care. God will take care of who? Of me. God will take care. God will take care. God will take care of who? Of me. Let me tell him something, y'all. Late last night, had a lot of things on my mind. All the things that I'm going through and what I'm dealing with right now. Sometimes it feels like more than I can bear. So I need you to help me out, Lord, cause I know you can. And it occurred to me, you with me always. It's plain to see Everybody say, God will. God will take care. I know God will. God will take care. Oh, yes, He will. God will take care of who? Of me. Say it again, yo. God will take care. Late in the midnight hour. God will take care. I know He will. God will take care of who? Of me. Her Majesty, tell him something.
I wonder why life seems so hard. Stop to ask myself, where is my God? Now you may find what I'm saying a little hard to believe, but the hardest times of my life was when He carried me. It occurred to me that God is with me always. Always clear to me. Now I can say God will.
God will take care.
Yes, He will. Yes, He will.
God will take care.
Ooh.
Is that your testimony today? God will take care of me. Is that your testimony? God will take care.
Yes, He will. Yes, He will.
God will take care.
Ooh.
I know He will. God will take care of me. Late in the midnight hour. God will take care.
Oh, God will.
God will take care.
Yes, He will. Yes, He will.
God will take care
In the midnight hour.
of me. Say it again. God will take care. I know He will. God will take care. God will take care. God will take care of who? Of me. Let's take it home, y'all. God will take care. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Are y'all right out there? All right. Where Catherine at? Do anybody need to do a speech right now? Or a speak?
I just want to shout out to my family who came out to support me. My mother who turned 89 years old, September the 15th. Miss Isabel Moore, she in her car somewhere, but shout out to her. Glory to God for her. My sister right here, Annette Gibson, my beautiful daughter, Bonnie, my grandson who was crying because he wanted to see his Mimi perform, and my daughter Shalimar somewhere. And all of y'all, we love y'all.
All right. Hold on. We need to take a 5-minute break. 10-minute, 5-minute. We need some water. The sun beaming. I need a camel. I'll get some water then. Ain't no more water? Ain't none over there? Nope. Okay, y'all go ahead. You want your water? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little, let me see. You know, I'm going to just do a little bit of this song. I haven't did it in years. But I just want to dedicate this song to all the ladies, because I know women, y'all really got a serious backbone to go through the things you go through in life and carry the load that you carry on your back. And you mothers, you sisters, your aunts, your grandmothers, all y'all. She's faced the hardest times you could imagine. As many times as fall back in tears, Lord, Lord. And when her useful world was about to fall in, each time her slender shoulder felt the weight of all her fear. I'm gonna do a little cut on it. Let her cry, for she's a lady. Let her dream, for she's a child, yeah. Let the rain fall down upon her eyes. She's a sweet and gentle flower growing wild. And if by chance, I should hold her, let me hold her for a little while. And if I'm now just one possession, yeah, I would pick her from the garden to be mine. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Ooh, yeah. She's my flower, growing wild, yeah. She's my flower, ooh, growing wild, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Ooh, growing, 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 growing wild. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got right now. God bless y'all. Now I'm gonna try to find me some water, listening to my voice get scratchy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. True Colors. Okay. All right. Have you seen my electronic cigarette up here? If anybody's seen an electronic cigarette, I would love to have that back. You know, I know it's a bad habit. Did we find it? Yeah, hallelujah. There is a God.
All right.
Thank you very much. because I was over here nicking. Let's give a shout out to AMPM.
AMPM, give them a hand, y'all.
To sponsor this event this afternoon.
Yes.
They are a community store. Mr. Sam has been over there for 40 years.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
And we are always talking about these little corner markets and how they don't be in here there for the right thing.
All right.
But guess what? They actually want to be a part of the community too. And guess who else helped? Cornell Market. So let's give a shout out to Cornell Market. All right. We have the Throne of Hope. We have the Hope Foundation. We have Knowledge for Life. And Sister Baby Community Solutions. And so we are about the community, for the community, in the community. And so I wanted to take this moment while the band was away and talk about getting involved with the community. So once again, I said before I left before, to say nothing and to do nothing is to be complicit to what's going on in and around our community. We have Brother Tony Gibson up here, Brother Tony Currington up here. We had the NAACP up here. We've had Brother Stephen Muhammad. Did he come up? Well, doesn't matter. This is Oasis Agricultural Learning Center, which is what the reason we are having it here is because they want to start a agricultural center to about growing our own foods and how to grow and live in our own communities. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to all the help that came out when we talk about, who all do we have out here? Somebody help me out. Who all came out? Huh? Public health? Public health. Who else? We had quite a few people out here. I don't know what, I can't remember everybody. Anthem Blue Cross was out here. And we had Oak Street Health. They came out. And we had Sister LaRonda. LaRonda talked about financial health. Who? Oh, Ivan. Oh, of course. We got, True Colors. Man. So I wanted to thank the Black Panthers came out. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of people that came out and really supported. This could not be possible without you guys. That's facts, right? I can come out here and have the best intentions, but unless it's supported and you guys come out and hang out and listen to our band and listen and eat our food free of charge, by the way. All right, then that's what's that. Also, not this year, but come next year, we're going to start sending around a collection bucket. And the reason we're going to do that is because we want to start getting this building up and moving. And we're going to start taking collections for this building. Okay? Because we can keep coming out here, but unless we get some money to fix this up, y'all know it ain't going to get fixed up, right? So I'm going to need you people to help us out and getting this building up and moving. I don't have much more to say. Once again, we're going to let the band wrap this up. I think the NAACP wanted to talk about getting a membership. Now, I'm getting some strange looks over here when I said NAACP and memberships. But they're a great organization. Derek Forward has, in fact, moved NAACP forward. They do a lot of events, as well as they care and go out in the community and actually help. Here's the deal. You guys don't even know that NAACP actually do a lot of community outreach. But they do, right? And so when I got into this thing here, I didn't know either. But they actually are out here in the community right along beside us, right? They're part of this. They're a part of other things that are happening in the community. They care about the crime. They care about the people. They care about a lot of things. So they're going to ask you to get your membership to the NAACP. I am a lifetime member, but I'm also an investor. I'm also a business person. I'm also a community person. But it's not about me, because this mission is bigger than me. The purpose is bigger than me. The purpose is bigger than all of us. We got to come together, people. We got to make a difference in our communities. Because if we don't, who will? So I'm talking to you with a heavy heart, actually. But I have passion, and I have desire, and I actually have a vision that this place, our community, it can be great. We are a great people. We are a knowledgeable people. We are a powerful people. We got to understand who we are, right? We are better than this current surroundings. We are better than what they would have us to believe that we are. We need to understand who we are, okay? So, on that note, I always love Mufasa when he goes to Simba and he says to Simba, know who you are. And if you know who you are, then understand the greatness that's within, right? You have the ability to grow your own food. You have the mind to get yourself out of the same situation that you put yourself in, okay? If you can get in it, guess what? You have the same ability to get out of it. You ain't got to stay where you are. You choose to do so. Okay, that's Ivan them telling me to get off this mic. Okay, I'm gonna get off the mic.
Honey.
I love you.
No, I love you
know,
too.
I love you guys. Thank you.
I'll tell you one thing, they don't make buildings like this no more. Tornado come through here, this be the only thing standing. All right. You know what? Come on, y'all. Say, yeah, oh yeah. Jesus rose, Jesus rose, Jesus rose. Say it again, y'all. Yeah, oh yeah. Jesus rose, Jesus rose, Jesus rose. Let me tell them something, y'all. Hung up on a place called Calvary. Yeah, yeah. Stayed there 3 long hours. Took him